Hey everyone, I'm Jonathan Shaw, and in this video, we're going to look at the understanding part of the DTO system. This is the first part in the DTO process, but it's probably the hardest one for people to get their heads around because for some of you, you will have heard this information before and you'll get it. Other people will be a bit more skeptical, and other people will be very, very skeptical. They won't get it at all or understanding at all. But this really is the key to resolving your issues, no matter what it is, whether you're suffering with chronic pain or chronic illness or a mental health issue like anxiety and depression, or whether you're just experiencing relationship issues or confidence issues, or maybe you're experiencing overwhelm or guilt or shame, or maybe you're experiencing issues where you can't connect to people or things, or even to yourself, or you're just struggling to be happy. No matter what it is, it all stems from one place. But we are taught to look somewhere else. We are taught in life and on TV and through traditional medicine that it's all outside of us, that we must blame something for why we have the problem. It's our age, it's hereditary. Oh, it's your mum's fault. Oh, I can't believe they did that. Oh, it's the government. Oh, it's this, it's this, it's this, it's this, it's that. It's always something for why we can't fix it. Oh, you've had an injury. Oh, you can't fix it. You're broken. You're damaged. Oh no, it's just age, and you have to live with it, and you have to suffer. That's the most common thing. We have to live with our problems. We have to suffer, and that crosses all traditional medicine, whether it's doctors or whether it's mental health experts. They all teach us that we have to suffer and live with our problems, and ultimately maintain and cope with our problems. Now, call me crazy. I don't like doing that. I hate that philosophy. I don't want to live with my problems. I want my problems to be gone. I don't believe that anyone should be suffering illness and health issues. I think we should all be happy and well and successful. I don't believe we're meant to be ill. I don't believe we're meant to suffer. We're here to learn and grow and enjoy our lives. End of story. There's not meant to be suffering. There's not meant to be pain or illness or disease. That is a man-made scenario because of what we believe in our mind and our thoughts and emotions, what we've been told about it. So my whole day is filled with giving hope to people and encouraging them they don't have to suffer or be that way. And because by the time people come to me, they've often given up hope. They've tried so many different things. They've tried so many different techniques from traditional medicine to alternative medicine to holistic medicine. And they may have even tried techniques to heal their thoughts and emotions. And they haven't worked, or they haven't worked fully. And there is a reason for that, because that's what I was experiencing with my depression, that I finally got rid of with DTO. But I was doing lots of techniques and it wasn't resolving the issue. And that's because there was a code that I needed to understand. And that's what I want to talk to you about. There's a code. There's a code to decoding what's wrong with you. Once you get that, it all starts with how you think and how you feel. Stop blaming the outside world. Stop blaming the universe or God or the doctor or the accident that you had or the thing the person did to you or the way the person upset you or life just sucks. Stop blaming all of those things. That doesn't work. And while you do that, you're in a very negative mindset. Now, I'm not talking about positive mental attitude in this case, but it really does come down to how we think and feel. And our thoughts and feelings are caused by our past memories and traumas, by our triggers in our current environment, by our behaviors and our actions. In fact, the behaviors, the actions, the triggers, they follow the memories and the traumas in our life. Now, you might be thinking, well, you don't have trauma in your life, and I think I've covered that in another video, that you don't have to. I didn't have lots of trauma in my life, but I ended up with depression since I was 15, and that's just because of life situations, relationship issues, and school stuff, and people around me being negative, and it caused me. Now, I know you're going to say, John, you blamed them, didn't you? No, it was my response to people being around negative around me, and my response to the relationship issues that was causing the problem. It wasn't actually that situation, and that's what I want to point out to you. It's not what happened to you that's the problem, and it's not what the person did, because that's all in the past now. It's how you feel about it now. Now, don't misunderstand me. I treat lots of chronic abuse and things like that. And if you've had severe abuse and trauma like that happen to you, I'm not disputing that. I'm not saying that wasn't traumatic. It really was. But most of those people that I treat, it's over. It's finished. It's in the past. And they're stuck moving on for it because it was so scary and frightening and abusive and shameful and things like that. But you can move on from things like that. You don't have to live with it and suffer. You just need the right technique. And the first thing you need to understand with all of that I've just mentioned is that it comes from understanding that it's your thoughts and your feelings that are causing your problems. It's not chemical based, it's not your hormones, it's not in your DNA, it's not hereditary, it's not some gene in your body that's gone wrong, it's not what the person did to you, it's not that the sky is blue and red sometimes, or whatever you make up in your head. It's none of those things. It's just how you think and how you feel about yourself and the world around you. Once we change that, once we know exactly what the root of that is for your problem, and I will say that every problem that I've encountered has a specific route to find what's causing your problems. Not all of your past is causing your problems. You might think, well, I don't know what it is. It's a minefield in some people. You don't need to know what it is. That's quite a common belief. They often think, well, I can't come and see you until I know what's wrong. You don't need to know what's wrong because you don't know the code. I know the code. Once I've told you the code, you will know what's wrong and we can map it out. We can then do the pinpointing part pinpointing exactly what memories and triggers are causing your problem. But first, I just need you to get that it is being caused by your thoughts and feelings. Even if you've tried other techniques to release your thoughts and feelings, like you've been counseling or you've tried EFT or you might have tried meditation or different things to heal you and it hasn't worked, that doesn't mean it doesn't work. Because I was in that place as well with my depression. I tried loads of those techniques. I tried meditation and shamanic work and EFT and matrix reimprinting and theta healing. I tried it all, you name it, even CBT counseling. But it didn't quite solve the problem. It didn't get rid of my depression for me because there was something missing from all of those things. There was a missing understanding, a missing blueprint to resolving the emotions and thoughts that were causing the problem. Because a lot of times people think the mind is complex, and it really isn't complex. It's not complex in that way. The only time the mind can be complex is if there's lots of sabotage running. But if you're not dealing with the sabotage, although most of you will have to at some point, because I had to deal with my sabotage, and that was part of my problem. My sabotage was holding it in place. But it's the sabotage that makes it complex, not the actual original memory, trauma, or behavior that happened in the past. Now, I'm going to cover sabotage in another video, so don't worry about that. But right now, I really want you to get that your problems are being caused by what you think and what you feel. Even if you don't know what that is right now, it doesn't matter. I can tell you that. I can tell you the blueprint and the code to finding that. And once you see that, once you can see it clear enough, you'll realize, oh my God, that makes so much sense. I hear that all the time when I spell it out to people and I show them that this is called that, that's called that, and that's called that. They go, oh my God, that makes so much sense. But it's difficult when you don't know what it is because you could be searching through loads of things in your mind, although I don't recommend doing that. But you could be thinking, well, what it could be this, it could be that, and you can get really lost and stuck in doing that. That's why I say understanding is not really going to help. I say that a lot to people. Don't try and understand your thoughts and emotions. Don't try and understand why you think this way or why you feel that way. You don't want to understand that. You just want to understand and get that that's where it comes from. It comes from your thoughts and emotions. But don't try and understand your thoughts and emotions because that won't work. If you're trying to understand why you feel angry or why you feel grief or guilt and you're trying to logic it out, that actually won't work. You can't do it that way because you're actually in a fight and flight response. And your fight and flight response is a biological response in your body. Now, when I say biological, I don't mean it's set in stone. What I mean is it's an automatic response that we go into when we think we're in danger, and we just go straight into fight and flight. We either run, fight, or we freeze when we perceive danger. Now, it's not for a perception of danger, it's actually for real danger, but we've made it a perception over time. For some reason, we've created it and switched it on when we only perceive danger, like being relationship issues or getting a C when we should have got an A at school, or being fired from work, or an argument with our friends, or making money. We perceive those as dangerous things, and so we go into fight and flight over them. And then those things build and build and build and build, and we end up being ill and sick and all those types of things and unhappy and miserable. But it is a fight and flight state. So you can't understand why you feel the way you do because you're in fight and fight and flight's not logical, it's biological. And you also can't switch it off with logic. You can't talk about it because it's not logical, it's biological. So you need a technique that switches off the biological response. Now, don't panic, I can't switch off your actual fight and flight response, the one that you need if you're in danger, but I can switch off the false fight and flight response that you're in now over something that's not happening any longer, over something where you're not actually in danger for your life or you're actually not being threatened right now. That fight and flight is a false fight and flight response and shouldn't be on. So that is what DTO does best. It switches off the fight and flight response. So the takeaway from this video is just to get that your problems, whatever it is, whether it's health issues or relationship issues or money, whatever it is, your problems are being caused by what you think and what you feel. And it doesn't matter whether you know what it is right now, it's irrelevant. You just need to be open to exploring that, to understanding and getting that concept. And once you do, wow, then you can start healing and clearing those things, and then you'll see the improvements will start getting better. Most of the people I see, 50, 60% of them are still quite skeptical about this. And that's okay. I actually quite like that because when they start healing, they're like, oh my God, wow, how's that happened? They can hardly believe it. But it's not a belief. You don't have to believe it for it to work. You just have to be open enough to try it, to give it a go. Even if you've tried lots of things in the past, DTO often works when people have tried other clearing techniques. Like I said, I did lots of clearing techniques and none of them really worked for me. Well, they worked a little bit, but they didn't solve my problem because I didn't have a blueprint. I didn't have a code for how to pinpoint and then change that. And the other thing that DTO is very good at doing is doing it very quickly. The switching off process is very, very quick. And I can actually teach that to people in about 10 minutes. And I've had people learn it and study it in 10 minutes and they go off and they change their life. One of my clients, well, she wasn't a client, I just gave a talk on just switching off a trigger, a 10-minute talk at a networking. And I showed how to switch a trigger off. And she went away and did it and solved her grief and loads of other problems, and then just started giving it to other people to do, and they've got great results as well. That's what she's told me. So the actual switching off part is very simple, and we're going to cover that in another video as well. But in this video, just get that in my 25 years experience, it really is caused by what you think and feel. Everything around you, in fact, all of life. If you've got a problem, if you're not happy with something, then it's caused by what you're thinking and what you're feeling. And that's not to blame or criticize you. It's not your fault. It's just a program that's running in your system unconsciously. It's a program of a trauma or a memory or a trigger that keeps being fired off unconsciously. And if you're not sure how that works, a really great movie to watch is Inside Out. It's a great animation from a few years back now, where you see a little girl who's going through trauma of moving and losing her friends and living in a new place and going to a new school. And these are not traumatic things. These are not heavy traumas. These are life situations. So it really gives you an example of how life can upset you, hurt you, traumatize you, and cause you all these different problems. But really, what she went through was just normal life situations. They weren't really traumas. So that's a really good movie to watch to understand how it affects your health and your well-being and your mental state. I don't like the word mental, but it's the word everyone uses. Nobody's actually mental, just to clarify that. But it affects our mind and our thinking, and then our emotions, and then eventually our physical body and our health. Hope that makes sense. If you have any questions, reach out to me, Jonathan at dtosystem.com. And in the next video, I'm going to talk you through pinpointing the root cause. So once you get that it's your thoughts and feelings, how do we pinpoint? How do we go to the root of what it is so we're not clearing everything? We're going to talk about that in the next video. Until next time, stay healthy, stay happy, keep smiling. I'll speak to you soon.